Wow, that's just incorrigible. Damn it. Okay. All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Are you guys able to hear me? Give me a thumbs up in the chat, man. Test 1, 2. Ooh. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right. Let's try that. Okay. Test 1, 2. Okay. All right. Well, there's going to be 3 steps to mopping the floor. First one is I got to pick everything up off the floor. The second part is I got to sweep the floor. And then the third is actually mopping the floor. I've already prepared the liquid. Hopefully the liquid will stay good. So now let's get to picking up all the stuff from the floor. I wouldn't want to mop the books. It's been a great first quarter, I guess. Maybe if I pick up as many things from the floor as possible, the easier it'll be to mop. So that's that is what I'm looking for. So fun fact, turns out these new desks have hooks in them. That helps a lot. You can hang some stuff on them. The next thing I have to do is probably dismantle or at least very quickly disconnect this so that it doesn't get in the way of the mopping or the sweeping. So this is our mobile webcam station, so that people online can join the class even if they're at home. So this has been a big help, but it's in the way. So I'm going to move this away. That was a good idea. without that, there's a lot of space on this side. There's a lot of space on this floor. We'll have to rethink where we're putting that. Yes, hello. How's it going, man? Anyway, hopefully you can hear me. I decided to use the other computer to stream myself because the other one didn't work so well. But I think it's having a bit more. I'm having a bit more success with this one. Anyway, I'm on the first step. The first step is to clear the floor of anything, and after that, I'm going to sweep very quickly, and then I'm going to mop. So those are the 3 steps we're going to do today. All right. That's up on board. All right, that's good. If you don't mind, I'm not going to use your name just so that for privacy reasons. Yeah. Kind of a spur of the moment thing too. I was just saying that we gained so much space when we removed the webcam and computer here. I wonder if we could what we can do to make the space flow better. The ceiling has a hole. Yes, you're right. The ceiling tile just got moved by the wind. I don't think that's too hard to fix, but I'm going to leave that to the experts. Okay. Lots of stuff on the floor. I think maybe we've forgotten about putting boxes on the floor. I think that we should still be considering that, because that seems like, like some people are using reusable bags, totes, to put their stuff in. I think that works very well. That's working very well, but it might be better if they were more solid. Okay. There really is a lot of space on this floor. Crazy. Okay, one more. Another thing I noticed is that some of these chairs have gotten rearranged. Like this chair doesn't go with this table, this desk, and neither does this chair. I might ask next week to have them returned, because that might not be good. That might not be good. Who says this? Yeah, I suppose that's what's happening. Okay, looks like step one's done. Next thing to do will probably be to sweep the floor. Maybe just the biggest pieces that I see right now, just so it doesn't interfere with the mopping. Ooh, I hope you can hear that. Uh, in the beginning of the year, we had a different broom and dustpan. It might have been too heavy. I got these at the corner store right outside the school. So relatively cheap. I got them. I was able to get two for the price of one of them, so that's not bad. So I got two, and these are much smaller, and they're easier to maneuver. I'm quite thankful for that. It's helping me out quite a bit. On that thought, there's a lot of black marks on the ground here where the computer desk is. I don't know what's up with that. I think maybe because the computer cart is so old, the wheels are falling apart, and as they're falling apart on the floor, like they're cracking and they're leaving their stuff on the floor. That issue seems to me it's relatively minor, because honestly, the fact that we have a rolling cart for the computer is like the benefit we're getting from it is much more than the hassle of having to sweep it up. The fact that we're able to sweep it up is fine, because we always have cleaners. But I can't imagine what we would do if we didn't have that extra computer cart where we put our webcam. That's kind of a really useful thing. And not only that, since it's on wheels, it's very easy to reposition. Like, a certain teacher doesn't want it quite that way, you could just change the angle. Not bad. It certainly beats not having a webcam at all, right? Because if we didn't have a webcam, how will the remote students be able to join the class, right? And that's good. Oh man, this is really working very well. I'm picking up a lot of dirt. A lot more than had the chairs stayed, if I had just kept the chairs on the floor. Yeah, that's a lot. As I was going outside to put water in my mop bucket, I noticed that most of the teachers are gone. So I was afraid of getting locked in. So I told our facilities manager, Mr. Reyes, that hey, please please remember that I'm still here. I don't want to be locked in upstairs. That's happened. I don't know if you can imagine this, but this already happened twice. Well, because of that, that's why I guess that's why I'm trying to make this a little fast. I don't want to get locked out. We're locked in here, upstairs. I guess, I don't know. I mean, if I were to get locked up here, it's not a big deal. There's aircon. I'm quite full from lunch. My lesson plan is taken care of. I don't have to worry about anything, but yeah, I might have to worry about food and drink maybe starting tomorrow if I were to get locked in here. Okay. So you can see the floor. The floor is dirty, but that's to be expected because under our new mitigation protocol for COVID-19, the students have to stay in here the full time. So of course, the longer you stay somewhere, the more trash you generate, right? And certainly the last 2 weeks we've had cleaning crews, we've had cleaning groups, and everyone in the class has a chance to be on the cleaning group, and it's worked out well so far. I don't have to do a lot of cleanup after school anymore because of the help that I get from the cleaning group. So I'm very thankful for that. And kudos to all of you who have been a part of the cleaning groups. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and that's just that's just facts. The longer you stay somewhere, the more trash you generate. That's like a fact of life, I guess. And my class has been quite. Oh, did I break that too? My class has been pretty helpful in cleaning up after themselves, so that's very good. I really appreciate that as well. The job is so much easier because of that. Really, looking at this floor really tells a story. What I mean is, like, the darker it is, that's probably where most of the people are spending their time. You know. That's, we got that part as well. I wonder if I should start asking my students to do that. Pick up their chairs at the end of the day, so that I or whoever is left to sweep will have an easy time. I have never swept as fast as I am doing right now. Pretty crazy. Lots of stuff. You know, this is giving me a lot of stuff to think about. If doing this, I'm finding myself with thoughts that I probably never would have if I was not doing this right now. So, because of the way YouTube works, and actually there's two things actually. One of them is the way the YouTube works, and the other reason is the way like schools in general or like businesses in general work. You only have a limited amount of time to you only have a limited amount of time to do anything, right? Like your job, if it's you can only go to your job maybe 7 or 8 hours, right? Most jobs are that long. Certainly, my job is that long. We're supposed to arrive at school at 7:30, and then we're able to clock out by 3:30. And that's been the cause of a lot of like anxiety on my part. Because I'm a procrastinator, you know? I mean, I guess I don't want to help myself too too hard in the internet, but yeah, man, I'm not known for getting things done on time. And I know that I should change that. Yeah. But just now, you know, like as I was sweeping, and as I'm remembering that there is a time limit. You know, there's only a limited amount of time to do the job, to do anything really. I mean, even the ultimate job, you know, living your life. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate job that has a deadline. Literally a deadline. You live until you die, you know. So as I was just like sweeping the floor there, yeah, it came to that thought where like, yeah, I only have a limited amount of time to do this thing. And to be honest, that's that's unavoidable. It's it's just a fact of life. You're just never gonna have most of the time. You're just not gonna have the amount of time you need, let alone the amount of time that you want to do things. So you make do. You have to do your best with what you've got. Anyway, by the way, if you're interested, I've already started to mop. So here's the liquid. I picked up this combo, this broom. I'm sorry, this mop and bucket combo, Home Depot a few weeks ago. Not too shabby, I think. Pretty nice. So yeah, just now I was looking at the clock and I'm like, I'm running out of time, right? And I'm also looking at the screen over here on YouTube, and I'm seeing that my engagement is shot. There's no very few people are watching, if at all. And that's because, in YouTube, you're supposed to, the main idea is brevity. The shorter your video, the more engaging it is, right? So if you can fit what you want to say in as short a time as possible, then your video wins. Your video gets a lot of views, when your video gets recommended. So yeah, your videos have to be short. And so as a result, you don't really have a lot of time to get a lot of stuff done. But that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, I don't think. As I said before, if you don't have enough time to do everything that you needed to do, then look at the amount of time and then just fill that with everything that you can do. Like what are you capable of doing at this time? So maybe you don't have an hour. You don't have an hour to mop the floor and like get it really done the way you really want it. That hurts me doubly because at the same time, I'm a procrastinator, and I think coupled with that, and maybe because of that, I'm a perfectionist. Maybe those two go hand in hand. And I hate that I have to turn things in before I'm like satisfied with it, before I'm done, before I'm quote unquote done with it. Like I want it to be as good as I can get it, right? Like as good as it's possible for me to get it. But because our time is limited, because there are deadlines and because there are due dates and stuff, that's really not possible. And the only thing left for us to do is do the best we can with what we've been given. So initially, when I was planning this video, or when I was putting together my outline for this video, I thought, well, I'd have to move the camera just so I can show the whole floor getting clean. And I was even thinking, okay, so maybe I shouldn't use the camera, or I should not use the computer I was using last time I tried doing this because the volume was shot. No one was able to hear what I was saying. And as a result, I didn't say a lot of things in that previous video. But then I realized, as I was sweeping, I'm not going to have enough time. So guess what? I'm not going to be able to mop the entire floor. of the classroom. I can't. I promised that I'd be out of here by 4:30, for example. And if I held myself to the standard of having to going over every square inch of the floor, I would not be done by 4:30. I'd be locked in. You know, I wouldn't be able to walk out of here. So instead, what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the worst parts of the floor and I'm saying, okay, well, I can hit that today. And then the rest, I can just do on Monday. Because Monday, yes, it's a full day of school, but at least I'll be able to do some stuff, you know, after school. So and I had to think on the fly. I had to come up with that plan when I already started working. That's powerful to me, and I've never thought about that before, but that's applicable to the rest of my life, I think, because there's never going to be a time when there will never be enough time. There's just never. That's never going to happen. No matter how hard I try, there will always be more floor to mop. There will always be more dirt to sweep up. And if I tried to be thorough, it's not going to work. I'll be dog tired. I'll be dead tired. There wouldn't be any time left to sleep. You know, enjoy the weekend. That's a very powerful thought. I did not think I was going to be saying that on the stream live in front of all 1 or 0 of you, but that just struck me right now. That's very powerful. But it just hit me now, and I don't know if next week the way I will treat my students, the way I will treat the work that has been given me, I don't know if any of that will change, like, instantly. I do know that it's going to take a lot of work. And I do know that, you know, just because your mind changed doesn't mean that your body will, you know. I've been telling myself that I'm going to lose weight. This is the year. This is the year for me to lose weight, you know. And I've been saying that for, I can't even remember, man. I turned 30, I think, when I first said, oh yes, my 30s. That's when I'm going to be, that's when I'm going to lose weight. So far, that hasn't happened yet. And yeah, I guess I could say I'm pretty, yeah, well, a part of me is disappointed about that. But another part of me is like, there's still time. I mean, yes, that stuff is important, you know. But as long as you can keep yourself healthy, maybe the rest of it will follow. I don't know about you. I don't know who is watching this, but I guess the secret got out that I have an Instagram, and a lot of people will comment, you know, will ask me why I take pictures of my food. Like, well, what's that for? Actually, that started out as a food diary. So sometimes I will eat something and it will cause my feet or my legs to get swollen and get hurt. It's a condition called gout. And my doctor said, you have to note down what are you eating, because if you eat something that triggers your gout, you 24 hours later you'll start to feel the effects. So it's useful to know what you've eaten in the last 24 hours. That's really how that whole thing got started. That's why I started taking pictures of my food. It was total coincidence that when I got on Instagram, people keep taking pictures of their food. That's a totally separate thing. And when I saw that people do that, I said, okay, well, I guess I can do that too. But yeah, it started out as a food diary. And it still is. I can't even remember when I started doing that, honestly. It must have been more than, could it have been 5 years now? Not sure. I guess I can always go to Instagram and check. But yeah, that kind of grew into a habit. So here I am. I'm mopping this floor, and I recognize that I can't. I just don't have time to do the entire floor. There isn't. There isn't time to do that. In fact, I'm running out of time already. Actually, looks like I have maybe 5 minutes left before I promised I was going to leave, or at least close up. But hopefully, when my students come in later, next week, Monday, and they see that the black spots, most of the big black spots on the floor are gone, hopefully they'll say, oh my God, who cleaned the floor? I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for. I guess that's all I'm waiting for, right? Um, I think that would be much appreciated. And if I had, spent all this time instead of mopping the floor, getting up and deciding to mop the floor, if I instead just hemmed and hawed about, oh, what is the best way to mop the floor? I mean, that stuff's important too, I guess. It's important to plan, right? I would not have, things would not work out if you don't have at least a good outline of a plan. But at some point, you have to get up and do it, I guess, is my point there. At some point, you just have to do it. And the fact that you did is what makes the difference, because there's a difference between doing it and not doing it. Yeah, it's the difference between doing it and not doing it. How's it going, Elijah? Are you still there? Elijah, wow, Elijah, I've not heard of you in a long time, man. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Anyway, like and subscribe, as as they say. Okay. Where should I go next? What part of the floor should I go to next? Maybe over here. Been a long time. I hope you former students are doing well, man. Yeah. if ever, I don't know, I always, whenever I have a bunch of students graduate or leave the school, or at the end of the year, I always say the same thing. I apologize if there's something that we were supposed to cover, or and we didn't, or there was something that we were supposed to do, but I didn't do it the correct way, or because like students, teachers get better all the time. The Mr. Biz of 3 years ago, the Mr. Biz of 3 years ago is a worse teacher than me now. But that teacher, that Mr. Biz of 3 years ago, is also better than the teacher 6 years ago. I learn things all the time. I improve at my job. I get better. That's why every time there's a faculty meeting, the first faculty meeting of the year, every time that happens, I always say, yeah, I've been teaching for such and such number of years, but it always feels like the first year, all the time. That's a very common feeling for me. I've since gotten used to it. So I tell my students at the end of the year, I apologize. I apologize. I'm sorry that I'm not as good a teacher as I could be. But if at some point you need any help in math or in that thing that I taught you, I always tell them, like, look me up. I'm always willing to help my former students. Always. Doesn't matter how long ago that was. I'm always willing to help them. So, and through the years, quite a few students have taken me up on that offer. To be fair, and I've been able to help them, and I'm so glad to know that many times I'm surprised at where they end up. Like sometimes I'll see them, they'll be serving me at the restaurant. They'll be ringing me up at the places where I buy my food or where I buy my supplies. They run into me and they say, "Oh, Mr. Biz, I remember you in Simon Sanchez, Oh yeah, how are you doing? Oh yeah, here I'm in college." That always is so good for me to hear that they're in college, especially when I was teaching at public school. Because college is not required. The fact that they're able to go to college and better themselves, to me, that is so fulfilling. That at some point I was able to help them get there, That was good. That's a good feeling. Oh yeah, we're getting to the good part here. And also running extremely low on time, but there you go. We'll see how much further we can push it. It's also, what's also a really powerful feeling is that, and this is very underrated in my opinion, I've many times, or very often, I get stuck thinking, what's the best way to do this? When really, if you just start to do it, most of the problems that you imagine you would have when you start usually work themselves out. They kind of just resolve themselves. All you have to do is take the first step. So if there's any one of you like me out there, you're a procrastinator, you have a hard time getting things started. And I know I'm saying this to you. I'm saying this to you knowing that it's hard for me to hear this sometimes too, many times. If you get started, or sorry, when you get started, you'll find that most of the problems you were imagining work themselves out. So just count on that. Just get started. You can't do the whole thing today. Do some of it today. Do some other part next week or the day after. Sometimes the momentum is what you need. I don't know if that's groundbreaking to you, but it's groundbreaking to me. And I've said it to myself already. It just never fails. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that, because I have these thoughts, I never procrastinate anymore. No, that's not how that works. You can hear advice and still not take it, I mean, that's totally within the realm of possibilities. Yeah, I'm spotting all this talk right now, but it's most of it. But I still procrastinate. I mean, that's like a day by day thing. So, yeah. And just like that, I've completed like 3 major areas of mopping already. The back here seems to have the most spotting, but because there are very few chairs here, and I didn't want to put lots of chairs here because that's where the aircon is, and I didn't want people to be cold. There are not that many chairs in the way, so hopefully this will not take much longer. And just like that. Just like that, I tore my mop. One of the strands of the mop got torn. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. If you must know, in this classroom, I also have a Swiffer. And yeah, I have tried to use that from time to time. The cons like really outweigh the pros, man. So I mainly use the Swiffer for wet, like the wet Swiffers, the wet Swiffers that are in the resealable box, right? I find that the level of soilage in the floor is such that I can't do even just the problem spots with just one napkin. I always seem to be using more than one, at least 2. And because those things are single use, in the long run, it might not be worth it. Those things aren't cheap. So it was at that point that I said, yeah, maybe we should invest in an actual mop and an actual bucket. But experience, I'm glad I had that experience though, because if I didn't, I would not have known, what if it did work out? And Swiffer is pretty popular enough that it must not be a total loss for everyone, There might be people who find Swiffer useful. So I'm glad I was able to try it out myself. Anyway, the back of the classroom here gets the most spots because, again, due to the COVID mitigation protocol, the students have to eat in the room. So their food. So they have to eat their food here. So because of that, if your food spills or if your drink spills, it ends up on the floor, and it might be clear, like it might be King Car or like a black tea or some sugary drink that you have. As soon as someone steps on it, that becomes like a black spot. So that's where most of these, I think that's where most of these come from, and also the fact that it's close to the trash can. That's really what causes these things to happen. Yeah, but I'm just blown away at how quickly I'm getting through these spots, man. Great. Yeah. By no means are your teachers perfect people. I will be the first to admit that I'm not perfect. I'm not teaching you because I'm better than you. I'm teaching you because of my experience. Like I've been through it, That's why most of your teachers are teaching you. They've been through it, they've seen it before, especially in the subject that they are teaching you in. From time to time, you'll be blessed and you'll know a teacher who loves math or who is very interested in math or really any the subject that they're teaching, right? And those would be the best times, right? But yeah, you're counting on your teachers to provide you with the benefits of their experience, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I'm better than my students. I don't. And, but it's not a contest, Like if you know more math than your teacher, don't be alarmed. Okay, you're maybe you could be a little alarmed. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that would be key, right? But you're in school. We're all of us, even me. We're all in school to gain experience, right? Experience is the key. When you get out into the real world won't care if you've had practice in a certain skill, right? They'll say, hey, do you know how to do this? Yes, great. Okay, we'll pay you. Oh, no, you don't? Okay, well, if it's a nice place, they'll train you so that you'll have that experience. But most of the time, they'll pass over you and go somewhere else. Go with another person who has the experience, right? So yeah, we are all in school to gain experience. And you're hoping, as a student, that your teacher's experience will lead to a good outcome for you, right? That you'll be able to use your teacher's experience to lessen the blow of not having that experience in your life. Yeah. So yeah, your teachers are human. Your teachers are not perfect, and arguably, I would argue that they're not supposed to be. You'd learn more from a teacher that who can admit their own mistakes, maybe. For my part, and we were just talking. I was just talking to my co-teachers about this today. I have been blessed with really good math teachers. Teachers who know their stuff. Teachers who were strict. Maybe strict is not the word, but teachers who cared about you. Teachers who cared about the work you're putting out, right? I care about your work. Teachers who said that. And most of all, teachers who were compassionate. Teachers who said, "Oh, you got that wrong. Okay, here's another chance to, uh, to to work it out. Right? Here's another chance to work it out." Teachers who work with you, communicate with you. I became a math teacher partly because of the good experience I had from those other math from my math teachers. They were very good, and I still think quite fondly of them. Yeah, why don't we name check them? Okay, let's see. Yeah, in middle school, I had for math teachers, Miss Perez and Miss Chua. And in high school, I had Mr. Uggan. I had Mr. Uggan twice, one for Algebra 1 and one for Algebra 2. Mr. Boding for geometry, and Mr. Chan during senior year, where we had a calculus. So we took calculus, but it was right out of Algebra 2. And not having taken trigonometry, Mr. Chan turned around and said, "You know what, guys? First quarter, I'll give you a crash course in pre-calculus and trig, so I can show you how these functions work." I've never seen anyone do that before, like modify what they're going to teach, because they knew we were lacking in something. That was great. I look up to that guy. He was great. And in the University of Guam, too many to mention, man. Dr. De Beer, Dr. Uggan, Dr. Uggan the younger, Dr. Alicia Uggan, Dr. Grisham, Dr. Sakai, Dr. Nagahashi, Dr. Transay, Dr. Badowska. She taught me, I was the only person in her class because I was about to graduate, and I pleaded, please, Dr. Badowska, I need to take this class, otherwise I'm not going to graduate this semester. And so I took that class course by conference. Might be missing a few doctors. Dr. Cumming, who taught linear algebra to me, which at the time I was so fascinated by, because that class was exactly how I thought. That was, when he was teaching that class to the others, it was so boring. A lot of people slept in that class, and I'll admit, including me, I slept in that class too. But he was speaking my language because he taught it in a way that made sense to me, meaning he started from the definitions of the terms, and then he applied it piece by piece to each new piece of information. It was so minute, it was so, I can't think of the word for it, the way he taught it was so step by step that some of the people who were very fast in getting math, they were bored out of their minds. They passed anyway, they got their flying colors, they got their A's very well. But I really appreciated that, because it showed me that you could do that, that it does work. If you just follow everything just comes in from the basics. And it just works,
Lucky I checked because I almost left.
Thank you.
No more downstairs, no more in the front.
Okay.
Okay, because I wait you there.
I'll be 5 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can close the gate. Lucky. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Whew. Thank you, Mr. Riz. So glad I texted him. Oh man, I just realized this is live online, and now I'm trying to think. Oh shoot, which math teacher did I not name? Yeah, man. I didn't name any elementary math teachers. That's because usually you stay with your class, right? In elementary. But in the Philippines, I do remember my math teacher. His name is I don't remember his last name, but I remember his first name. That's because in the Philippines, well, at least in the level that I was at, maybe it was different if you got to high school or whatever, but and at least at that time, they told us to call our teachers sir or miss with their first name, right? Or sorry, sir or ma'am. No, it wasn't ma'am. Sorry, I'm making that up. Sir. But anyway, his name was Sir Miguel, and I think maybe he was good at math. I mean, yeah, he seemed to know his stuff. I don't remember a lot about that. So I was in the 5th grade. So I think maybe early 90s, stuff like that. Early 90s, man. Anyway, I don't remember a lot about that class, but the one thing I remember, a lot of us did not do the homework one time, and I think he got upset. What? Only these people did the homework? And I think he was I don't know if he was making a show of it or he really was that upset, but the whole time all we did was just sit for that period. He didn't teach anything. He didn't try anything, do any new problems or anything like that. He just sat down and he was glaring at us that whole time. And he just sat down. Those periods were very short anyway. I mean, they were like maybe 40 some minutes. Yeah, it felt like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? We just sat down. He glared at us. I think he might have lectured us for a good bit too. You guys should not. Why it was a bad idea to do that? Yeah, I felt super bad. And I don't know if that's a positive memory of Sir Miguel. And Sir Miguel, if you are watching this, yeah, I really apologize for not doing that work. I can't. If you ask me, I could not remember what the work was. It's all very blurry. The memories are very blurry from here on out. Well, yeah. He must have been a good teacher. Maybe it was, and teachers, if there's any teacher like watching this, you know that teachers have their days, man. I certainly do. It might have been just one of those days for him. And if he's watching, I apologize. Thank you for teaching us, Sir Miguel, and I hope you're doing better now. Yeah, I wonder if he's still teaching. Because if I think about that, if he's still teaching now, he must have been teaching for 30, 40 years now. Okay. Okay. Well, I missed the spot over here. But this video is pretty long already, and I feel like I said a lot of things already. So anyway, thank you for joining me here while watching me mop the floor and like listen to me talk. That's very therapeutic. I feel like I learned something just by talking to you, whoever it was who was watching this. Um, I don't know how often I'll do this, um, but based on my experience today, I feel like I should do this every so often, at least maybe every 2 weeks. You know, when the when the when the floor gets messy again. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you next week, and may God bless all of you.